You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
Building tomorrow today with Rightmove. Looking for quality, reliability, and innovation in your next big build? Choose Rightmove Engineering and Construction, Sierra Leone's trusted name in transforming ideas into enduring structures. We don't just build projects, we craft landmarks that stand the test of time. From state-of-the-art offices and modern homes to fuel stations, water systems, and infrastructure, our team delivers precision, passion, and perfection. At Rightmove, we are not following industry standards, we are setting them. Through cutting-edge technology, uncompromising safety, and sustainable solutions, we are building a brighter, stronger, and safer Sierra Leone. Visit us at 54 Campbell Street, Freetown, or call 078399475 or 077504338. Rightmove Engineering and Construction. Building quality, building trust, building the future.
It's Labor Day. After all the grind, stress, and queries at the office, it's time to ease your brain, laugh out loud, and feel like the CEO. Laugh and with Kido and my hustle will make sense on Labor Day, Friday, May 1st, 2026. Venue, prestigious Pintu Money Hotel, 7 p.m. Ticket prices, Kido, 500 millions. Answer, 1,000 millions. I mean, table for 4, 10,000 millions. Adil, table for 8, 20,000 millions. You don't buy yourself plenty. Now come and laugh. No excuse. Media partner, Liberty Online TV, and cooked by Eminence Africa.
I say, it don't make sense. I don't make sense.
Freetown City Council Public Notice Enforcement of Frontage Cleanliness. The Freetown City Council FCC has observed with serious concern that many owners and occupiers of buildings within the municipality of Freetown continue to neglect the cleaning and maintenance of their frontages, premises, and private drainage systems. In several instances where cleaning is attempted, waste is left piled near drainages, creating an unsightly, unhealthy, and environmentally hazardous condition. Part 3 of the Freetown City Council Solid Liquid Waste and Collection Bylaws 2024, Clause 8, Subsection 1A clearly states, an owner or occupier shall maintain and keep clean his frontage, premises, and private drainage systems. Clause 8, Subsection 2 further provides that an owner or occupier who contravenes sub-relegations 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5,000 new leones or to imprisonment for not exceeding 6 months or to both fine or imprisonment. The Freetown City Council hereby informs the public that full enforcement of the city bylaws has commenced. The FCC Metropolitan Police have been deployed across the municipality to monitor compliance, conduct routine patrols, and document violations. Any individual, business, or institution found contravening the above provisions will face immediate penalties, including fines not exceeding 5,000 new leones, imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months, or both fine and imprisonment as provided by law. A clean city is not only a legal obligation, it is a shared responsibility. When residents fail to maintain their frontages or misuse public spaces, the entire city suffers the consequences. FCC therefore urges all residents, businesses, and institutions to cooperate fully and maintain their surroundings. A clean city begins with you. Maintain your frontage, dispose your waste properly, respect public spaces, and obey the law.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of The Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty TV with a stream on Facebook, YouTube, and also our website, where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring this edition come to you this Thursday morning. My name is Khadija Bangura.
And Amina Mebel Kaba, good morning. Today is Thursday, the 23rd day of April 2026. Inside this edition of the Breakfast Show today, we take a look at issue we get for do with Saratel. We always say for a very long time as the state-owned telecommunications company, they not done they actively operate like how they used for be where we've been small. We know say them and they one of the people will be gonna phone boots them for go make calls because now Saratel been dead and same then they but challenges them been coming where we make Saratel not be done the operate as effectively as it for be. Well, we learned say this week the Ministry of Communication be announced say government officially don't get a partnership deal. Also, then they try for revive Saratel for begin operates back. Well, we can discuss that particular agreement today, how it sound like and how Saratel will get for sound like where the deal come into existence and how then go they operate. All of that you're gonna inside this edition of the Breakfast Show. And also now this edition of the show, yesterday Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP been pulled in your response to the joint mission we been done conclude and we see 8 recommendations and come out with the government of Sierra Leone and the APC for implement as soon as possible. The SLPP don't pull in position regarding this. Also, themselves get 7 bullet points we na then position in all of this. That's also we go for can discuss now this edition of the Breakfast Show.
All right, so we get 2 major headlines them inside this edition of the Breakfast Show. And for the very first time at the studio, we get the Minister of Information, Wego can tell we Minister of Communication, Wego can tell we waiting cabinet approve how AfriCell they come on board, waiting at the partnership agreement where they don't get and how they plan for revive again the state-owned telecommunication for make sure say themselves be a competitor na the telecom market. Well, at the studio this morning we get Minister Salima Ba, we na the Minister of Communication and Technology. They between at the studio this morning. They can talk about waiting exactly cabinet be approved and how this partnership with AfriCell get for go on for ensure say they revive against Saratel way na the state get them. We mean say now the government how them go able to come back and be very active and competitive. Now that's the minister that can explain this morning. Good morning, Salima.
Good morning, and I thank you for having me here.
All right, let me start for look first the sector where you take over because President Biobi unbundled the Ministry of Information and Communication, and now communication is standalone. And there's so much going on in terms of the digital space, in terms of the technology and all of that, they under your own portfolio. How that sector did it go on now?
Definitely, thank you. I think that and the excessive president in wisdom way unbundle both the Minister of Information, Civic Education, Communication, but also add a mandate to communication as well. Yeah, add technology and innovation. We're not within the ministry before. The ministry was very strong on communication, but with the added mandate, so we get for expand the ministry of itself. So really over this past couple of years, we don't take time in terms of making sure the other divisions then we institutionally make sure say the ministry ready for able to take over all of their mandates and they, as much as all the other work we do continue for do in the communication sector as well.
So the communication sector, when it comes to the competition, how you go say they out there, especially turning like this way, everybody wants for the online because now one of the major thing and the way most of the customers then sometimes can grumble about the various provider them.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I think say the fact say Sierra Leone for 8 million population, the fact say we get really 4 currently. We get 4 mobile operators them where they operate within the economy. I think that's a very great thing. We see countries them, our neighboring countries, for example, Guinea, now really one major operator they get, and then I think others really struggling. That's good because competition is good, options is good for the people, and because these companies they look at the other person, look out offer, so myself might get the same. So we think that a benefit to the people of Sierra Leone and we all. But definitely I wouldn't because there's some challenges then some challenges then in terms of expanding the coverage, in terms of some around quality of service, but with the regulator, we make sure we work with them for address them as we go along for move the sector even more. But I think it's also critical for take stock, of how far the sector don't grow. If we compare from 2018 to now, we don't see significant growth in terms of coverage. So the party we go over 90% coverage now of population when it comes to the network. We don't see 4G. In terms of all the sites, we don't see most all the sites. We get around 88% 4G coverage, and we also don't see significant movement when it comes to affordability. I know it is a concern, but I think if we also compare across the region, we know we did across the average for that. Even though we get to do more work for make sure it's even more affordable for the citizens. So progress has been made, significant progress. Yes, there's challenges, but we think if we look where we were just a short time ago to where we are now, we think boku work running, but we will still continue to do the work.
This is the digital age, and technology and innovation fall under your ministry as well. How you go describe how Salondon they perform in terms of technology and also innovation?
I think we at this stage right now we see a significant boom in the innovation space. Look, they go participate in these innovation competitions. The ministry they do one annually. There's Tech Summit we can do annually, where they bring innovators in different spaces where they can showcase they work with and they do so and they see what they attend on the way other people then they do. And we don't see a significant growth in the maturity of we innovators them. For example, I think a couple of months ago, we host the Tech Innovation World Cup series now winner for West Africa, and actually the two this not then compete against other startups there across the region. The two we can for first and second as Sierra Leonean and tech startups. We don't see a competition which was held in South Africa where we support some of we startups and for go competing, and the possibly win one startup from Sierra Leone. So I think we don't see growth in the ecosystem, and also we see more and more when it comes to government institutions actually they begin use and onboard digital system the way which are built in Sierra Leone. And so many of them NRAs using a couple which was built by local tech companies, even DSTI, and I think I was on the radio as well yesterday. The ACC they talk about this new platform within the rollout, which was built by DSTI, one of our own. So I think we're in a stage where we don't see significant growth in the maturity of we tech startups and tech systems, and I think obviously there's more to come in that space.
So is it safe for Sierra Leone tech driven at the moment?
Well, I think so. I believe so. I think so. I think if we see actually the other day we're checking, for example, I could just use QCell as an example in terms of we could be able to assess actually what most people use the network for. But we check on QCell, most people use that network for TikTok. So we have a younger generation, we have a young population that is online. We see the value of being online. We get to, and more of them they come up. Even the older generation, actually, we see more of them being online. Everybody wants to be on WhatsApp. Everybody wants Twitter. So I do think we don't see that trend they grow more and more. And I think with coverage growing more and the service being available, then they go only also grow as well.
Now we can now to the major issue where you there so on a partnership with Africell for Epona for revive the state-owned telecommunications company with Saratel. Take we back into Usai, all of them discussions there so begin.
So I think, say, when we talk about Saratel, I think so we even get for go back, even not just back before my time as the minister, even back before my predecessor, Honorable Minister Rado Sware, and way back, I think around 2012, for more kind of understand how we got here and kind of also understand the decisions are being made and the solution they would bring. You know, around 2012, a decision was made for upgrade Saratel in network infrastructure to technology, which is CDMA. At that time, there was two. There was CDMA and there was GSM. At that time, that decision was made with a $35 million or so loan for completely transform the Saratel infrastructure to CDMA. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, a short time later, that technology became redundant. That means the factory where the producer stop for producer technology again. So what's that mean? Saratel could no longer afford like a technology, the infrastructure there every year. You get for fix parts, change parts, renew something. So what it means, say, as that thing and they may come up, Saratel could no longer go to them and say, oh, I want for, you know, change parts, battery, all of those things. So like you get a phone with the battery, well, if iPhone suddenly make it again, you need to change them. So now then they begin the start of the decline for Saratel, because it means they could no longer afford to upgrade their network, to expand their network. So slowly, the services begin go down. The mobile service begin go down, towers begin go down, and fiber begin get problem. So obviously they lost their market share and their customers. And as soon as you lost your customer, that means the company can no longer make money. It begin going into financial distress. It can no longer pay the staff. It can no longer pay the loans that we get. So really, that's the start and the wait and call of to cause of what we see with Saratel today, to the states where it is now, we complete shutdown in terms of services, but a limited fiber to home within they do. No more mobile, no more MiFis. I just say family and remember at some point Saratel had the best MiFis them in the country, but no longer they could continue providing that. So the complete financial distress really Saratel owes a lot of debt.
So the company being they about for shutdown?
Well, you know, because I would say if Saratel was a private company, it would have shut down a long time ago. Private money continue for private business continue to take loss, but government, they say government akumbra. You remember the staff, you remember for the national pride. Saratel is a national asset, so government doesn't make the decision to just shut down. But I would say if Saratel was a private business, it would have shut down a long time ago.
So during that period, their government will they give them some sort of boost?
So, but this is the thing, you know, say for me government give, you know, say these two goes to parliament. Saratel is a non-subvented company. Parliament, you know, say for me, central government give money and support to any other, you have to go to parliament and they approve it in a day. But Saratels are not subvented institutions. Actually, it was meant to make money for government and put money in the consultant fund. But here and there, when there was significant staff, and because government listened to the plight of the staff, we get so many heartbreaking stories of staff that we don't go 10 months without salary. We don't go, homes are destroyed, people we don't die. So at some point, one or two 10 governments go come in on that difficult wait and call and see how for maybe solve one or two of the issues them. But to currently what we do today, we will do an assessment, because I know one of the things that we do come on board was we'll do an assessment for understand the staff obligations already. Currently staff obligations is around $6.4 million. That everything set in terms of backlog salary, leave allowance, transport allowance, all the dues and obligations the way you calculate the full of reach up to 6.4 million.
The decision for put everything together, take on a cabinet, it must don't take you a while. You must don't do some background into and you don't care and go in a cabinet don't approve for the very first time on Tuesday, the public here is say, when they partner with AfriCell. How na reach for select AfriCell say, now they partner them, wait for come on board for April revive Saratel? Absolutely,
that decision, they did take a while. So, and I mean, I'll take small back as well. from where this problem starts, also say government just sit down and the previous, my predecessor back just sit down and not do nothing but we don't try for privatize Saratel twice. And the people don't understand the normal privatization is a private investor comes, puts money for revive the network and all of that, and then there is some concession which is given. But the two term we don't try as a private investor who reach a final negotiation stage. They look at the infrastructure. So they remember, say, how much it's going to take. Remember that CDMA technology for completely upgrade that full infrastructure that costs millions of dollars. The person remember the liability with it to the staff. Okay, also they can't take over all, pay for all that. Then you remember, say, we get 4 operators in the country. We're not strong operators. So it's okay. So I don't pay this infrastructure, pay the staff. Remember, say, Saratel continue, get no customers. So start they begin gain customer, then begin compete with the one, and they at some point when they go to the end stage, the investors pull out because then when we wait let me think, when they kind of say and see the reality, they kind of feel say, okay, I'm not going to compete in the sector with
the local investors.
No, these are international. We come with investment funding. We come and they, maybe if it's a local, if I don't understand a bit more of the context. But anyway, so now don't mean this. So we realize say the normal model of privatization don't really work because of the current state with Saratel. So when me come on board, one of the things we I do was to really, as you see, take time for kind of assess the situation. I actually take time for even call around because this problem with Saratel again not unique to Salon, by the way. When the time Saratel was established, a lot of countries also go ahead and set up their own state-owned telecoms because at that time they would normally see private sector. They put us up local company, then go set up their own state-owned companies, which at some point had monopoly, same as Saratel. For over almost years with Saratel, me established and Saratel no more. So that means they had monopoly, so now you get the market. But as private sector, they begin come on board, private companies, they begin come at some point, the state-owned, they able to compete with private sector. So a lot of countries you see we get state-owned telecom companies them. We will see themselves begin they're the same state where Saratel gets. So this is not a problem we unique to Sierra Leone. So I kind of also do an assessment, talk to my colleagues them across the region, just to kind of understand they have been getting a similar challenge, waiting and do how they were able to resolve it, just to kind of see waiting at the solution the way they out there. And then we also come now that will come up with really with this idea of potentially going to a mobile virtual network operator model. Basically what they mean is where you get a company like a telecom company, you get a strong brand name, which we believe Saratel has. If you imagine Saratel, we don't provide mobile service for how many years, but people are still talk about them. And that's because they get strong brand recognition and name, and it means something to the people. Now they get value. So we get a situation and we get company like that. There's this model where, because you get infrastructure challenge, your infrastructure may work, you're able to use another company in infrastructure. Whilst you able to revive your own brand as well. So now that's the model where we the partnership where we able don't reach with Africell, say Saratel, they will able to bring back Saratel and revive Saratel. Basically we release Africell infrastructure for ride on top on. And really why we go with this model, it's a low cost model. Right? If government say, people will say, why government don't go put the money for revive Saratel infrastructure? That's millions and millions of dollars.
And government not get that money there.
Not to say government not get that money there, but government has the money, but government get competing priorities and interests. The government feed salon, free education, healthcare. And especially in a sector we get already 4 mobile companies. It means that if I can't tell you say government get the country, not say the country lack mobile telecoms. If we maybe if we in a situation where the country not get none, they will say okay, this is in terms of priority list. But we get 4. In that instance, the government doesn't believe that the best use of the government in money instead of healthcare would be to go invest it in reviving Saratel infrastructure. Really, private sector can do that. So that is I just on the why we choose this model, right? So this is why, because government yes getting money, but in terms of priority, that should not be the number 1 priority. There's other competing priorities, but we still believe we go. Not we say we abandon Saratel, but we believe there's other ways to bring it back. We not to just government go put millions in infrastructure. So it's a low cost model. We're able to bring back Saratel within the shortest possible time, and we're able to bring them back in an affordable way. That means it's affordable for the people. So then one of the things where we negotiate with Africell was we bring back Saratel. Saratel has to operate at the most affordable rate. Because that's also another thing about bringing back Saratel. Not just bring back Saratel, we'll get 4. Waiting will be different. But Saratel.
So how now settled for Africell?
So how settled for Africell? So for the model would you use, imagine you get for use one of the operators. So it's not a model where you will go car with somebody outside of the sector. You have to use one of the operators within your market already. And we survey, and I think even this is before my me assumption, when we don't reach out to all of the operators for me to propose. Potentially they give proposals, all of them, Orange, Africell, QCell. For me, they propose waiting will be what's their idea of potentially partnership with Saratel. Orange proposed a different model which we didn't think it's a path we want to go down. QCell and Africell actually proposed this kind of MVNO model. So between them two, we decided to go with Africell because Africell has a bigger market share. This has a bigger reach in terms of towers, in terms of coverage across the country out of the two. So now based on that, we made the decision to go with them.
So the selection criteria you go say na be a competitive and a fair one?
So the two things, one is, again, bear in mind you only have 3. It's not like say you will open out to other people outside of the waiting call, but government also has a process with somebody bear in mind they made this proposal around, maybe I would say around 2024. Right, 2023, 2024. But at some point again, we try back go for full privatization. We were unable to do that as well. So during that period, we get this call unsolicited proposals. That's a normal process for government where somebody just can cancel, I have a proposal for you. I want to do this. And that's a waiting call. We so went down the route of engaging with PPP, engaging with cabinet for me, cabinet approval. But again, as I mentioned, we looked at the 2 that we had on board and we decided to go with that because based on the significant basis for something like this, we look at the market share is important because if any operator we go with, your reach will only be as big as their reach. So if that operator did not get as much reach, that means that's the only limit Saratel will get. So of the 2, we decide for Godiva, we get the biggest reach.
So as of now, Africell get the biggest reach?
No, in terms of the 2, in terms of Africell and QCell. Yes.
So now that Sona don't get this partnership publicized, cabinet don't approve, what's exactly when they begin? So
by this, so there's 2. We're in the process. The plan is actually we'll be launching in the next 2 weeks. So that means the soft launch for Saratel will be within, I think, we have a date potentially for the 5th of May.
That's so fast.
Exactly, because a lot of work has gone into this. At the end stage, that means NATCA in terms of integration of the network infrastructure, the numbering for 025, which is Saratel 025, that will clearly Pagona with the other operators. In terms of print SIM cards, all of that, reviving the brand, commercial thing there, all of those things are on track. So the soft launch will be on the 5th of May, but the full public launch, I believe, will be the end of May.
We can look more into the details of the operations. But one major thing where people concerned about whenever the name Saratel come up, like you said, been say earlier, plenty people will be the work there, some don't die, they're not able to get them money, them back, and this outstanding debts day. Even current staff, then we know say them be done the strike in and out. Waiting at the situation with them one day.
No, I think so. That's a very significant thing. And actually, I think that's something we take most of we negotiations. This has been, by the way, we don't do this process for the past 6-7 months. So we're just at the end stage now. Then that part, and I take a lot of time and effort to think through, because I think one thing we make clear at the very start with them is we can't reach an agreement without making sure there's something which we can start taking care of the staff liability issues. So as I mentioned, one of the first things we work with the Ministry of Employment and Labor for really do a full staff audit. Right, because at some point we may not say a high, but we know we're not a full picture of what's happening. So that staff audit we will do, we come up with a number where we assess first of all the current staff numbers. And then that's something really important because as you see, from the last time we didn't do account, some staff they don't retire, some staff they don't sadly pass away, and some staff they don't abandon post. Some person still in the books of Saratel, but they don't go get to that job. So we need to take account of them, and I think say we'll come up to around 179 staff number, which is a huge staff number, by the way. I think so if we compare that to the other MNOs, they really make profits. I think so they're on par, which is a problem for a company when they make money. So we'll do that, and then, as I mentioned, we assess the obligations that we due, the full business based on paper. We'll check the papers and stuff. We come up to $6.4 million. So we went into negotiations with the partner AfriCell to say, what can we do? And again, I mention this because I also talked about this waiting at AfriCell the investment, full investment. This is not a normal investment. This is it's a partnership. Okay. So think about it. Government gets Saratel name, which is value. AfriCell get infrastructure. So like AfriCell they come for now put money for build infrastructure. Then get infrastructure, we get name.
But using the existing infrastructure.
They're not using the existing, they're using their own infrastructure.
Saratel.
No, they're using AfriCell's infrastructure.
Yes, so using AfriCell's infrastructure, now business then they do.
Yes,
they must want something in return.
No, of course.
So what are they getting?
Of course, the point I'm going to make though, because when they actually say almost money than they put in. So I'll just decide for make the point into that kind of arrangement. They are getting, which I'll get to. So the question was, we need to put in some money to at least begin paying the staff liability, which we will agree on, which is $2 million. So the upfront, right now, they're putting $2 million. What would it begin use for begin pay off some of the staff liabilities there with it?
So $2 million in addition to the infrastructure then they provide?
Yes.
So waiting in the getting.
So I can't. So I'm assuming after the staff was definitely I will answer the revenue share. So it's a revenue share. So I'll get to the percentages of that. So then they put in that $2 million there, and as I mentioned, it's a part, and not the full amount we owe. But what also we need for doing a verification, because it's $6.4 million what I talk about now, what we will assess just based off desk review. But as we know, for follow the law, we need to go check bank accounts, make sure say somebody will say they're not paying for 10 months. We need to verify say they haven't paid you for 10 months and make sure say all of that they checks out. For the deceased, we need to make sure say we trace beneficiaries, make sure say the money go to the right people. And so for now, that $2 million will be there whilst we go through the verification process, and then government now they come in to see how we pay the remaining balance we owe. In terms of waiting what AfriCell is getting, it's a revenue share. It's a plain revenue share. Say on the sales. So we give them the name, they use their infrastructure, we set it sells. We do revenue splits between government and AfriCell.
Waiting at the percentages, how the splits get for Talent, because as it is now, they don't put the infrastructure, they don't give seed money, if I can call them, for pay backlogs.
Exactly.
Where a huge amount of investment.
Exactly.
So how the revenue share get for Talent? What are the percentages?
It's 12%. So AfriCell gets 88%, government gets 12%.
For every year?
For every year.
Is that a fair deal?
I do believe that is a fair deal. By the way, we checked across the region. South Africa has a version of an MVNO. The government is getting around 8 to 9%. Rwanda has a version. I think they get around that cost there as well. And these were companies when they take over, we may actually get customer. We own that complete zero. But I think say towards the point, and I really actually make that day. So one thing we recognize it. Then there's a risk on both sides, by the way, because think about it for a company, AfriCell's side. They're basically pumping money in to a competitor. Saratel is a competitor. They're reviving a competitor. There's a potential, by the way, not a potential, I think it's a fact, it's a reality. See, when Saratel come back, Saratel, what we target, now for me to look at first, we get a specific idea of whether or not Saratel in target audience. Because that's also one of the things we will bring them back. We say, look, we believe there's a gap in the population. We will not think any of the operators then the service fully or then designed for service. For example, first time subscribers. Everybody when the first time they get SIM card. The young people, the students, we not think any of the service are the new content creative generation. We not think say and people in the effectively service. So that really is the really target audience what they think about for Saratel. And when every company gets your own, would I believe saying I'm your audiences and which is that's how everybody operates. But with that there why we think saying fairly. So that's one. And by the way, as I mentioned, when Saratel comes, yes, it could take first time, but Saratel will take customer from everybody, including AfriCell. Right, so this is them reviving money. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart that they get something, don't get me wrong, but I'm just also saying that is a risk on their side. See, they're reviving and potentially maybe when this contract ends, Saratel now is in a better place to really compete with them.
Salima, I'll take you back to the 88-12% shares we on agree on. AfriCell bin get assets. Sorry, Saratel bin get assets. And AfriCell, they bring the infrastructure plus $2 million. What thing they happen with the assets where Saratel been already get in place? Now, all the part of the negotiations?
No.
Or
So,
everything now AfriCell they bring on board?
so this agreement, Saratel assets are not part of the negotiations. No Saratel assets, it will be used for this agreement. The only assets will be used, for example, the main buildings, the building for Google, that will be the Saratel headquarters, I believe, at the main motor road. Then kiosks, we then get, which will be revived, where we will sell from. That is the only Saratel asset that will be used for this agreement. Currently, we're doing an asset audit for kind of really understanding, especially when it comes to towers, within the current state of the tower infrastructure, the fiber infrastructure, the exchange point within by Victoria Street, and the real estate, the full real estate in the provinces, by the way, as well. So it has a vast real estate all across the country. So we currently teams and NEPA go around for kind of do asset audit, because you can't make an agreement when it comes to the assets we don't know the full scale, the status with the assets and then before that, but that any conversation around the assets will always be a separate agreement. For this agreement, there's no Saratel assets being used except for the center them who side them with the cell phone.
Well, when you talk about assessment, I believe say una go don sit on the table while they discuss the revenue share, una go don do some projection and see who side una want for the next 5 years of this particular partnership. Because the space now very competitive. Each player, they bring in new ideas for day on top of the market. In terms of una performance projection for the next 5 years, we Una and AfriCell, they can work together for revive Saratel back. What do una they foresee?
So absolutely, and actually that's part of the reason why we did this, and also we cancel performance and midterm review. So one of the things that this contract gets is one, it has KPIs, performance KPIs, and they get midterm review. So the proposal we have to sell makes, so they gave us those projections, say in 5 years, and the project say then go down grow customer base by around 1.something million. By 10 years, then go down grow and by this. So we take those numbers, we put under the contract. So we embed those in the contract to say, well, as soon as we tell we, so we don't put inside the contract. So in 5 years time, if we not meet their performance targets, and they will do a review of that contract. So, and then at that time, the decision would be made whether we continue or revise times or we make a separate decision. I think that's something way unique to this contract, because sometimes we see you give contracts, you just get, okay, take 10 years, take 15 years. There's no assessment, but really what in this do now a mandatory midterm review, and based on the numbers, the performance numbers where they give in a proposal, say this is what they can do. So we go assess them by the same numbers that they where they give for see media if they don't meet targets any.
But still on the 80-12, is it just because government's not be one for solely sell we just privatize Saratel, let go, make on a sell on get that 12% shares? Because when you look at the scale, 80-12, now a very long difference.
But we want privatize, you can forget possibly willing. You can forget a willing taker. Government wants to. You can forget we don't try twice. You have to have a willing taker. But also actually beyond that, by the way, we to also see with trying to privatize Saratel.
Because it's more or less like AfriCell taking Saratel. But government just say, let we just own that 12% side of the deal.
No.
Because now we own Saratel.
As an MVNO, this is not a sale. very clear. This is not a sale of Saratel. Government owns Saratel. This is not a sale. This is a revenue share on a specific product, which is a Saratel MVNO. We're going to...
All right, welcome back. Apologies for that break day. We get power cuts in the studio. We continue with the breakfast show. We come to you live from Liberty TV this morning. We get the Minister of Communication and Technology, we Salima Ba, where they discuss about the partnership where they don't get with AfriCell for lay, then can work with government for revive Saratel again and bring all the service system where Saratel be do use for provide to the customers them. Well, here for Minister Salima is say this na a partnership where na revenue share at the end of the day, government and AfriCell every year then they sit down and share the profits we then get for make. Yes, you will explain about the projection them we una don't make.
Yes, I think I make it projection, but I really want to drill down on this. I know say family go get that number the 8812 and get concern legitimacy, and maybe it's important to explain why. So first of all, I think I mentioned in terms of the normal privatization, how that hasn't worked. But also actually, what to see from the normal, I trust me, those numbers were worse because any person right now, it's like, okay, now me get all the risk. I get for pay infrastructure, revive infrastructure. I get for pay you staff debt. I get for now compete when me go begin make money. So what to actually see is right now, attempt at privatization, government you negotiate from a position of weakness. Because we not get much. So actually one of the decisions we take, say, okay, right now privatization or even a sale, which I'll put out there, it's not feasible because you'll be selling or privatizing from weakness. You go sell them at a very waiting because you're in a position of waiting. You know, even a customer, because with telecoms they sell, one of the big thing everything they sell a customer list. But say, look me customer, and then should say the person will say, okay, welcome. You get 1 million people, automatically I get customer what they sell. So we have none of those. But we can't. So these arrangements, I think somebody really make the point. This is not a sale. This is not a takeover of Saratel. This is not a privatization. It is a partnership. I think it's important. On this MVNO, the only thing we're giving AfriCell is a name to operate. So think about it. Not so they use Saratel infrastructure. They need to use any government say put any money upfront into it. They're using their own infrastructure. That means there are 700 plus towers, which is theirs, solely owned. Now then they provide the bandwidth capacity where they buy directly from Zood Labs. Now then they do the day-to-day management as well. So all those costs, regards to all the tax, the any regulatory fees, any of that, they solely take on board.
Now we discuss the figures. How much on the project for make every year?
Well, again, that is a projection based off growth. It depends on how much. So one of the things which, again, maybe if we were looking to make the most money, because one of the things they won't negotiate with them was to say, Saratel has to operate, you know, say Salo, we get floor and ceiling price. We get the max rate, operators, then they will charge, and we get the minimum. One thing we negotiate, say Saratel has to operate at the floor. Saratel has to operate at the most affordable rate. If we move one more money, for don't tell them the grass, or because if you charge more, then you make more. But because this is more about having another affordable option in the market and important for many people and get an affordable option and we then get able to take up. So with that and with numbers, it's a numbers game. If depending on how many subscribers you're able to grow, how much they buy bandwidth, and that really determines how much you get. I think, say, for the first year, this now we don't pull Q1 out of it. I think the projection was around, we believe, would make around 1 million or so. And will government get its 12% share of that? But then just first year, those are very conservative numbers, by the way. And those numbers were done based off Africell, their own experience in terms of seeing the market grow. But I think, say, by the time we go year 2, year 3, and people trust in this, we can expect to see those numbers grow.
You said another for use the existing structures of Saratel. What happens to the existing staffs as well?
So we come to the existing staff. And we've been honest to say there's going to be a reassessment. You know, I mentioned before, Saratel, if it was a private company, like they don't shut down long ago. But because governments are Cobra, we just don't go and do that. And government also, there's no reason why sometimes the government is a good business person, because government, they make decisions based off profit solely. We have public interest decisions we make. You know, staff, these are Sierra Leoneans, they need jobs, and all these things, that we hire more people than we need. Sometimes because people need jobs, so government would take more people than maybe the company needs. And then we don't see. For this new operation, as I mentioned before, it's going to be a very slimmed down operation. Unfortunately, we won't be able to keep all that 179 because it just not waiting call for the current operations.
Which means someone go lost work.
Yes, that I think we'll be honest about. So what we'll do a reassessment. We'll do a reassessment based on the required skills of these new operations, and those will be the ones we keep. But the commitment we will give them is to say, we'll make sure, they get them all the dues and obligations. I think that's the most commitment government. Although we do have to stop the bleeding, because every month where we keep that staff number where the company name make, that means it's every month we add to the liability. Now make the liability reach 6.4 million. If we don't potentially cut them off way long ago, we know for government or media institution where you get as liability. But every month we keep them, we keep adding to it. We do need to stop the bleeding on that day.
Salima, we want to talk about this partnership. One thing we as governments don't keep on the emphasize on the independence of the company, Saratel, a standalone, nothing or the change. And for revive something, it takes a lot, especially in a competitive market like this within this. So let me talk about branding, marketing, and the entire operations of Saratel. What in the partnership speak to?
Oh no, then they completely. So we'll say what will mean a change in terms of the independence of Saratel, in terms of government ownership of Saratel. That doesn't change. That still remains the case. But definitely it will change because a new model, a new business model. So definitely, absolutely, that will change. You know, in the contract, we get in the way we call reserved matters. Because by the way, I talk about Africell, the risk, but I also talk about government risk. What you know the risk is, Africell is a competitor. We're very clear on that fact. It is a competitor to Saratel, and there's a potential of brand dilution. Right? That means people in watch and if you say Africell, Saratel is one and the same. Right? Now, say for example, you go to a Saratel shop, they begin selling you Africell. Or you go to Africell shop, they begin selling you Saratel. That's in the brand look like they don't converge. That's a risk we took account of, and we make sure we had clear provisions in the agreement of brand protection and separation. So for example, in Africell, they have to hire a separate management team for Saratel. They can't use the existing.
So now they're in charge of operations.
Yes,
and
they
management.
will manage, but separate. So they have to hire a Saratel MVNO MD and full staff them, which is separate from Africell. They oversee, the main company will oversee, but they would have a team where go sit down separately. They're going to sit at the Saratel offices. Those are saying from Africell headquarters, and they sit down the direct. So they'll be, they're going to oversee. They'll manage it and oversee. And that was a strategic decision as well, by the way, to do that, because we think, say, for efficiency, for what they look at, we think it's important that they do. They get skin in the game just like we, for make it work. They get more so 8%. So they're more motivated. We could have come with a separate person but other more motivated past the posse way no say I dey look for material. So that was a reason for efficiency 6 me then do am rather than go out somebody else when now we are thinking different that posse we get skin in the game. So that was why we took that decision. But we talk about waiting go change, and I do want to answer. So one of the things we did was separate management team. Another thing we put when we call reserved matters in the agreement where we cancel brand, because we want to protect the brand name, the brand look, and the brand position at the market. So officer can't change things. We cancel brand name, logo, thing like that without government written approval. So none of tobacco puts, and as you say, commercial and those things, there's going to be a heavy marketing and commercial, because that's really what it is. Marketing for me, you able to compete as Yusuf say, now the market and speak to the audience we want for brand promotions, all of them things for can, but in the way we think say a sacrosanct, they cannot change without us. They can't just sit down and make that decision for change anything around the foundational brand identity of Saratel. So yes, they will be managing, but they'll be managing under strict guidelines. And as I promise you, this agreement, by the way, will be laid in Parliament. So for the people to see the full details, I tell you, when it comes to brand protection and making sure that is protected, that is detailed extensively in the agreement.
So if by any way anybody gets any facility of Saratel currently, waiting for happen?
So as I mentioned to you, we're doing an asset audit right now, because we will go into another agreement, by the way, for the assets management, which will be a separate agreement on separate terms. Now that day you go see, because that's the government now get assets. So that day you go see those percentages would be significantly in our favor, right? So we will go to an agreement around the assets. But for now, we needed to understand what's the current status of that. And as I tell you, I say every weekend the people in the upline, they get the pictures, they write how they see assets. And so actually, by the way, some of the staff they'll move into the Saratel buildings. And I don't go completely wait and call and fault them. Some of them, because they don't get salary, landlord, they don't kick them out. So they move into the building. So I can't completely fault them. We hope it's all pay them. We're able now make other arrangements for them. But in terms of commercial agreements, we don't see Saratel don't sign. I think it's because they're in a state of desperation. They don't sign some agreements where you will say maybe has not been value for money. So what we're going to do, we're doing an audit to understand what's the current status of the assets, where they are, what's going on. We'll do reassessment of whatever commercial agreements have been there. Those that are value for money and on best terms, obviously those stay. But those who feel say not really a value for money will be reassessed. We'll look how we re-engage their partners in them.
You make mention of debts where the company been get about $35 million. How not they able pay back that debt?
Oh, so this is the government to pay that debt. That debt was to I believe the Chinese government. Government they pay that debt on a monthly basis. The government don't continue, because that then has implications for the debt portfolio. So government don't continue for pay that debt. They imagine for debt for technology we no longer is being used, but it's gonna government get for honor obligations, and so we continue to pay that debt.
So with all of the arrangements there, una go be able to make some money out of the 12% we una they get on a yearly basis?
No, by the way, the 10% not so just yearly, it's on any revenue. Not to say we'll say the end of the year. That's going to be monthly. It's on any revenue made. So if they sell 1 million of top up, will you get 12% of that? So that's how that is written. But yes, but so and exactly to that point, think about it now. Saratel now actually is a burden on government. They pay make single cent to consolidated fund. That 12% plus any other arrangement we will make for the assets that goes to government. Where government now go use pay debt, or decide say for now more pay, use that money they fully for pay the staff liability with it, and then all some other priorities that with it.
From what you don't explain this morning, clearly they show say Africell they take over Saratel in terms of operations, management, and what have you.
I wouldn't say so. We're partnering.
Yeah, but now they go in charge of the day-to-day.
They're managing. I wouldn't say they're taking over. They're managing. they're coming as a partner, managing partner. Like at some point, by the way, Saratel had an interim management team of another company that managed it. So it's a difference between saying government, we go recruit people and let them operate, or we say go with a person a telecom provider. Actually, I think that's also important. Somebody understand the salon market. A telecom operator will understand the salon market to say una manage on our behalf. So I would say they're taking over Saratel. I would say they're coming on board with us as a partner.
But in terms of transparency, waiting the agreement say as to because then they handle the operations of the day-to-day running of Saratel when they begin work, and how government's gonna exactly waiting they come in and waiting they go out. How una do that in terms of it's been transparent between the two parties?
So firstly, the Saratel customers will be managed on a separate billing platform. So it's not going to be commingled with AfriCell. So for example, use the 025 and call and buy top up. They get these operators use a billing platform, a managing platform for their customer care. So that is two separate platforms. So we'll see exactly almost people and almost subscribers you get, how many calls were made, almost you generated. By the way, right now, even Ministry of Finance has this technology called NSoft, where they're able to see from their own side, almost then operators that generate on a daily basis. So Saratel would have its own separate platform without mingle with AfriCells. The second thing we came up with this initiative called the independent verifier. Because as well, part of the agreements, there's obligations to do monthly reports. As part of the platform, they will give us monthly reports on the operations of the company. But we came in with this initiative called an independent verifier. So government, they go recruit a firm, we go be an independent verifier. Because Ministry of Communication, Finance, we have a lot of day-to-day tea what they do. Day-to-day also can be, we go check up fully on what they do. And you will say something the government sign contracts, then but the person the time we sign to nobody follows up to make sure that they're keeping to those. So we'll hire an independent verifier. So the contract we sign, we're going to give it to them to review and oversee. But secondly, the monthly reports we AfriCell obligated for GIWI, that goes straight to the independent verifier. The independent verifier is sole work now for look at platform, look at the reports, and cross check, by the way. They can go to NRA, NRA get for declare to NRA to finance to check that platform, the NSoft on the back end where we say waiting and the reports to waiting and declare say that matches and with the records, and that independent verifier, and then a sole job. And then I will be responsible for alert we if there's any discrepancy between waiting the report and waiting the evidence, and then that's when they will take action.
The sole aim for any businessman is for make profits. So in this case, should they see this like a win-win situation between the two parties?
Absolutely. There's a SFCI because as I mentioned, two parties have a risk. But two parties believe that with the framework code on setup, with the model code on setup, it will be a win-win for both parties. For government, yes, the revenue they get now is a win. But actually, I think so we'll get more than that at the end. Look, at the end of this agreement in 10, 15 years' time, what think government don't get? One, we get a better, stronger brand. Right? So now when anybody asks for Saratel, Saratel, no, by that time, because of the growth, because Saratel, no, Saratel is, that's any investor now where you approach, you're in a better footing. Secondly, what we don't get? We get customer. Any investor we not only say we get brand name, we will say, right, Saratel has 1.2. So if whatever privatization we're going to, we decide for going to, that's a strong negotiation position. Thirdly, what we don't take care of, staff debt. By that time, we're not going to talk about we get a staff liability. So apart from the revenue we government they get now, which is a win for us, but we believe at the end of this agreement, there will be we could look at them and make another decision for Saratel, but from a stronger position, negotiation position.
Another other decision angle I just think of, looking at the broader picture, we know they say this will happen, but how sustainable is this particular partnership? Because if you take into consideration, God forbid something happen, AfriCell say let's pull out. What thing will happen with Saratel at that time? Well, not we get the infrastructure as a nation. Now, Africell infrastructure, the government have up for ride on.
So, one, we put a very strong exit clauses there. You can't just grab one money and pull out. There's a very, very strong exit and penalty clause that we're going to make somebody think twice before you pull out, because there's strong, heavy financial implications for that. But also there's several options we go available to we by that end. As I mentioned to you, we look at the assets and see what we'll be able to do with regards to the assets. Also, there are other existing players, operators, by the way, where we think, say, if for whatever reason Africell decides to pull out, which we don't see, envision, but there are other operators which we're able to engage to say, and by that time, I believe, say, right and middle say they don't see the benefits, they're having conversations. Right outside we need to see, well, when this the end, what it go be the potential, you know. So right based on the engagement, we know say there will always be a willing taker. We think say this could be feasible, or maybe at that time the government decides, say, or another investor maybe at that time would come in to say, maybe actually that time it makes sense now for my investing in infrastructure, because this is a strong brand name, because government don't take care of all the debts them, because you get customer them, maybe I can invest in infrastructure. And by the way, we can still able to make agreements for investment in infrastructure now. Nothing prevents us. At this, whilst this agreement they go on, may government now begin look at other private investors. They will not get conversations, one or two. We actually go one can invest in the existing Saratel infrastructure, including Africell, by the way. They also potentially want to invest in the Saratel infrastructure.
Salima, before we let you go, this agreement, Una don't get now with Africell, they are fully on board. Operations don't begin, and May 5th, Una go do the soft launch. You know, they put Africell at an advantage point from the other competitors that were already in the market?
Well, you could say yes, because they're getting another avenue for revenue share. But also, by the way, this is a free economy. You don't penalize businesses for looking for advantages, as long as you're going within the regulatory framework. We have a regulatory framework. MVNO would be a licensed operator. Government, we not a free economy government. Government, that's what we want. You want businesses, you want investors coming up with new ideas for how to expand businesses. That I don't think say government within a position for penalize people and because they come up with a good initiative or idea of one how to expand their own business. You want businesses to expand. And because we think say by this, the other operators I believe say sit down at them boardroom there, we too go able to do, how we self go able to compete. That's great news to the government, but that should also be great news, by the way, to the people of Sierra Leone, because I should say the operators, then they know this is coming. It's okay. Then they can launch Saratel, then go come with good offers, which offers we self go able to give the people them for compete, because they self want to keep their customers them. So that's a great news and for everybody, I think, all around. We want strong market competition in the economy.
All right, many thanks, Salima. We join with this morning for can talk about the revenue sharing agreement we Una don't get with Africell, and as you do from the Minister of Communication and Technology. On the 5th of May, then they do a soft launch, and Africell don't come on board for help government for manage the activities of Saratel and try for revive and back. And this now $2 million investment, and also Africell they bring on board then infrastructure them for see how they go able for revive the state-owned telecommunication company for the next 5 years, and then they share revenue 80-12. Government get 12% of any revenue they generate, and Africell get 80%. Now be a pleasure for get you this morning, Salima. I'm going to continue for reach out from time to time for see how this agreement they go and how now go able for revive Saratel again. We they can talk to Honorable Omar Parantarawali, when the Secretary General for the Sierra Leone People's Party. Yesterday, the SLPP pulled a press statement for inform the public and then supporter they waiting at their own position on the negotiations where the moral guarantor they don't get with government and that of the All People's Congress APC party. We take this short break. We'll come go talk to Honorable Omar Parantarawali.
spend bank with UBA.
Wise women too with UBA.
School pupils in Sierra Leone, do you have a creative writing skills? Would you love to win a brand new laptop and a scholarship grant worth up to 50,000 new leones? Then, this is your moment. The UBA Foundation, with support from UBA Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education, is proudly launching the 5th edition of the 2025-2026 UBA National Essay Competition, as the UBA Sierra Leone has teamed up with the Institute for Legal Research and Advocacy for Justice, ILRAJ, to make it bigger and better. Are you a senior secondary school pupil anywhere in Sierra Leone? Then get ready to showcase your ideas. Write a handwritten essay of not more than 500 words on the topic gender-based violence in schools, causes, consequences, and solutions. And yes, the rewards are exciting. First prize, a brand new laptop plus a 50,000 new leones scholarship grant. Second prize, 30,000 new leones. And third prize, 20,000 new leones. Remember, your essay must be handwritten, not typed. Upon submission, please include your full name, passport photograph, your age, town and district, school name, and of course, the name and phone number of your parent, guardian, or teacher. Submit your essay at any UBA branch, MBSSE regional office nationwide, or the ILRAJ office, or send us a scanned copy to cfcsierra-leone@ubagroup.com. For more information, please call us on 078 200 200 or 099 22 11 words on the topic gender-based violence in schools, causes, consequences, and solutions. And yes, the rewards are exciting. First prize, a brand new laptop plus a 50,000 new leones scholarship grant. Second prize, 30,000 new leones. And third prize, 20,000 new leones. Remember, your essay must be handwritten, not typed. Upon submission, please include your full name, passport photograph, your age, town and district, school name, and of course, the name and phone number of your parent, guardian, or teacher. Submit your essay at any UBA branch, MBSSE regional office nationwide, or the ILRAJ office, or send us a scanned copy to cfcsierra-leone@ubagroup.com. For more information, please call us on 078 200 200 or 099 22 11 22. Deadline for submission, April 30th, 2026. So, sharpen your pen, share your ideas, and be the voice for change. Visual impaired students are also encouraged to apply. The UBA Foundation National Essay Competition, Unlocking Young Talent and Shaping the Leaders of Tomorrow. Write it, submit it, win it.
All right, welcome back. You still watch the Breakfast Show where they come to you live on Liberty Online TV. We tell us this segment where they can talk to the Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP as the Secretary General, where na Honorable Omar Paran Tarawali. They can tell una the position where them pull yesterday after we been get the international moral guarantors and we don't come into with government, the opposition and other people, and they been pull out agreements where the two parties be agree say then go implement moving forward. But the Sierra Leone People's Party as a party themselves they don't get their own position regarding all of their engagements and themselves get 7 bullet points them where the party don't pull as their own position. And one among them bullet points and they get for do with one of the team them where government and the opposition be don't agree for, where now on the establishment of a parliamentary standing committee. And according to the Sierra Leone People's Party, then say on the establishment of a parliamentary standing committee and the structuring of the Electoral Commission of Sierra Sierra Leone, the SLPP strongly urges full respect for Section 3211 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Well, this is one of the bone of contention them where the Sierra Leone People's Party gets with all of the agreements where government don't get with the APC. Now that's make we get Omar Parantarawali now the studio this morning for can't tell we how the Sierra Leone People's Party reach them 7 bullet points here and waiting make them they kick against this one we get for do with the establishment of a parliamentary standing committee and restructuring of the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show, Honorable.
Thank you very much. And happy for the year today again. And I know say you guys are doing a great job for this nation.
All right. Yesterday the day before yesterday we been get the opposition at the studio where we been can talk about the position regarding all of these agreements, the international moral guarantors coming into Sierra Leone, meeting with different parties and get an agreement. Now we see yesterday on a Sefion party SLPP don't get a position, although many people be don't think say when governments don't agree because now the ruling party will not belong to, it should be an agreement, but we see when I get on a own position as a party. Just start for Sianda. How una get an agreement as a party when una the ruling government?
Thank you very much, maybe. I always can like this question because normally you go see say there's a thin line between the party and the government. And the reason why there is a thin line of difference between them are because the government where they run the state, now the SLPP-led government. Okay? Why then call on the SLPP-led government now? Because SLPP now get the biggest stake in it. But that is not to say now the SLPP stricto sensu. Because if you check governance today, you get different sectors. There are 3 main arms of government. You get parliament, you get the executive, you get the judiciary. So state administration get many players who are in fact not SLPP. So now take the first part of it, parliament. Parliament in whole, APC get about 40% of the determination of waiting they happen at parliament. So in other words, APC is also part of the governance architecture of Sierra Leone. So when you say the SLPP government is different from the SLPP-led government, in this current dispensation, it is an SLPP-led government because there are many other players who are not SLPP. I don't give one example on parliament, where APC they determine 40%. By the numerical strength waiting to happen at parliament. You come to the executive divided into 2. You get a political executive, which is actually led by the president and in cabinet. Then you get the bureaucracy, which is the administrative part of the executive. And this administrative part of the executive, it is expected that the bureaucratic class is neutral when it comes to open politics. But in actual effect, all of them belong to the different political parties. Although the constitution make it clear say you can't openly exercise that particular authority. So even within the executive, there are some people who are not SLPP. Now you go to the judiciary. The judiciary is a non-partisan institution. They are independent, they are impartial. But they're also now the third part of the administration of the state. So this is to tell you that in this current government, it is not the SLPP government, it is the SLPP-led government. So as a political party, we still get we own distinct and unique position on how government they run at any one point in time. Then the second way if you look at it, the current agreement, all as a country they talk about today, they're not signing between SLPP and APC. They sign on between the government of Sierra Leone, which is an SLPP-led government, and the APC. So that makes the SLPP a different player when it really comes to who that they append signature to the agreement of national unity as well as the tripartite recommendations. So the SLPP gets a unique and distinct position from that of government. And it will interest you for note that when the SLPP they take decision or position on issues concerning governance in the state, will not they consult government.
But on a leader, not the president.
So the leader, let me tell you. Okay, I'll give you a simple scenario. It just start like where you get, like come to the court system. You get what you call the customary courts, when at the local courts. Then you get what you call the general court of the land. Now, at a certain level at the district, you get what you call the district appeals court. That is where you get case, you go local court. If local court talk, you are appealing, you go to the district appeal court. Then you get the magistrate court. But look what's in happen. The same magistrate where they sit as magistrate. Now the same magistrate they sit as chairman of court when it come to district appeals court. But when they sit as chairman of court, you they see like saying a magistrate, but he's sitting as chairman of the court. And therefore that umbrella, that in authority where he gets as magistrate, not when he exercise at that time. So now the same thing with the president, who is the leader of our political party. When president of Sierra Leone they act in executive capacity as head of state and government of this country, he not they act as leader of SLPP. He only acts as leader of SLPP.
But not under the SLPP umbrella.
Led government. When they act as SLPP, you go see they pull down umbrella. Not just tell you jokingly, when President King go to party office, as he reach, they see all the young people, they come around there. Then you go see security, they make them people then go they give back talking that. I am not a president, I am a leader. When I allow our leader, allow talk to her. That is to tell you, even the local base of the party knows that the president, when they act as leader of the party, is not considered as president at that material time. So, when the party they take position, if we they consult the leader or they consult her in incapacity as leader of the SLPP and not as president of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
That bring you to the statement on a poll. On a statement talks say Parliament no get rights for control the Electoral Commission. What do make una feel say the independence of the Electoral Commission go down under threat?
Okay, so it's simple. This is a very interesting question, and I want lay and beer. Like talk that bang bata grown Creole, where the people in this country go really understand. My family in this country we then call Sierra Leone, the constitution as well as all other laws, they create particular institutions in this country where by then you make up and the work where then they do, nobody know for control them. If we allow people for control them, we they compromise the work where then they do.
Oversight and control, not two different words.
Khadija, you know the parliament, you know it's in called oversight. You know it's in the constitution. You know the power of parliament. You know, so when parliament even they carry out in oversight responsibilities, once it's in a committee, they automatically don't become the high court. They get the power for subpoena. They get the power for hold for contempt. They get the power for send people to prisons for contempt. Do you want parliament for begin send members of the Electoral Commission to Pademba Road? Do you want parliament for, and at any time parliament sit in a committee for provide oversight, they get a power for issue orders, issue directives, and follow those directives. Do you want parliament for be a super electoral commissioner, or a super electoral commissioner in this country? But, the answer is no.
But on a leader, where same way so na the president, now initiate all of them things here say, elections for many a time don't become contentious. A lot of people the all-term contest elections result. So for Nende, at the same parliament, it proposed to let them get a management body where for looking at all of the election issues there. So if now the country don't reach to that stage, waiting the SLPP they afraid forget an oversight body on ECSL.
Well, how SLPP go for it? Because at the end of the day, even if they make oversight body, now SLPP get for dominator. Because the standing order say for any committee in a parliament, members they in numbers based on the proportion of parliament. So why we for afraid? We go there, we vote safe now, we get for win. Where anything we then carry it, we go defeat. So we're not afraid, we're afraid.
So why don't let the committee work?
You can't, because in the very first place, let me establish this truth. The agreement for national unity, you see in preamble, it tells you say this agreement will be enforced as far as it is in conformity with the constitution and the laws of Sierra Leone. So for us as SLPP, we are a law-abiding party. We rule by the rules of the game, and therefore we're not going to allow any agreement we're inconsistent with any provision of the constitution or any law, extant law in Sierra Leone.
Even the moral guarantor themselves, they in agreement say the constitution of the land is supreme. But then they encourage both parties when they into this agreement for go according to what they agree on.
You know,
yesterday, the international community again, embassies then come together, then put out a press release encouraging both parties for abide to waiting then a disagreement.
Yes, definitely. You know, we know all not different. We need talk different talk. The international community say when I go by the agreement. And the first preamble of the agreement are that anything they execute under this agreement for they in line with law. So it's not different. International community is not saying anything different. They are saying carry on with the agreement, execute provisions of the agreement where they in conformity with law. So when I don't pull out of context, they are not saying take the law, keep at a corner, then go with the agreement. They are saying execute the agreement. We say any actions so they take under this agreement for them in conformity with the constitution. And any part of the constitution will seem for be jeopardized. That particular aspect of the agreement cannot stand.
So at this stage,
you know that very well.
This particular clause, na this agreement where una the question so, not to force anybody for going to on a party within governance, being gets representation when they meet. Likewise, the opposition they get representation, and of course, part of the representation from the government side, the AG Bindi, where I believe knows the law, he knows the constitution. You feel say they will go settle for anything where go contravene waiting there inside the constitution, where una the question this now?
Okay, maybe me and you so get right for going to agreement. I will get right for set we own clause there inside the agreement. However, then clause where me and you go into and sign, not for the against the laws of Sierra Leone. Section 17115 of the Constitution don't make it clear. Once we take this Constitution, we keep it aside for agreement. It wouldn't work. Let me understand this. 17115 say every law in this country is law as far as it is in conformity with the provisions of the Constitution. So even where you take an agreement so supreme, it should not be more supreme than the constitution.
Honorable Paran, you know one individual way from the get-go, you get your reservation about this agreement. The last day we host you now, you make it clear, say, now a gentleman agreement. The AG, now another media, come out and say, not a gentleman's agreement. Now an agreement where both parties sit down, then sign to things them, where they're supposed to implement to the fullest. Now, communicate on come again. We're listening to the leader of the mission, the former vice president of the Gambia, and make it clear say both parties for set up a committee, and this committee for ensure say then set up terms of reference. We not go break any part of the constitution.
Fine. So you say are interested. Look here, that woman have been vice president of Gambia. So you don't see her all. Very intelligent woman. You know exactly waiting the agreements, how to carry them on, and how for make sure say there are no conflicts where campaign executing those agreements. They don't tell you clear. Say in executing these provisions of the agreement, now set up a technical committee. Let them make sure say they guide the process so that we are all in conformity with law.
Why not the SLPP? Why would I not go wait? Because the communique say the leadership of parliament for set up a committee. We go look inside the terms of reference for allow ECSL for still retain their independence.
Okay, so it's as simple as this. We are a political party. This is our position. The position very clear. In this state, like our start, there are certain institutions of state where the constitution or the laws of Sierra Leone create for be totally independent and not subject to the control and authority of anybody or institution. And those institutions, by the standing orders of parliament and by the laws of this country, cannot be subject to the control, directive or oversight of any committee in parliament. Such institutions we make and clear inside we communicate, inside we press statement. One is the judiciary. Imagine the judiciary is an independent institution of state. We all know that the arbiter of laws in this country. You don't want to see committee in parliament on the judiciary? No, you know to make there can be no committee on the judiciary because that threatens the independence of the judiciary. Two, the Anti-Corruption Commission, which is charged with the responsibility for make sure say a curb corruption coming in this country. You don't want to see committee on ACC? No, because you want to maintain the independence so that the ACC as an institution work without fear or favor. The audit service Sierra Leone, like they audit the entire country. Have you ever seen a committee in parliament on that? No. The Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, in fact, will be the most independent institution in this country. Now, in the country, we mandate that vote will go vote. Now, in the contact, now in the determine the person or group of persons, wait for rule we. Now this state, do we want to have a committee in parliament where they oversee down there and begin giving directive? No. So as a party, we say that particular provision, we as SLPP say, because the agreement of national unity, say this agreement go be carried through in line with the constitution, we say, let we carry them through. But it will be in line with the constitution. So, full stop.
So, in other words, this implies the government was not well represented in terms of protecting the constitution because the moral grants was just all here. So, man, even reach associates. We don't hear the ruling party now. They complain, say, waiting they don't go agree for. Una don't kick against this particular clause. And una been get representative there through the government. That is my point here.
Okay, so your point are not as strong. But that question he asks, go in, they say that means the government not being get correct representation. Look, President Biosi don a status. He get Vice President Jules Jalo. He get Chief Minister Senge. This question direct to them. SLPP.
No, because if one don't pick them up after where they don't go sign to and say they don't agree, so then they can implement. All what people are thinking of right now, now implementations. But now, they reject waiting, they don't go sign to say we they do.
No, we not reject. In other words, our position is we have reservation. You know, I like to take people through the antecedents of incidents. So one of them days I would now, ECSL, we all political parties, including APC, when they look at the tripartite recommendation and are conscious as a city and they know, because the Balogo self-9 bring that up, then get two things when they go sign to where they disagree on. Look here, it's interesting. I know I'll present this here as if now SLPP no more express reservation. APC, the tripartite agreement where the tripartite recommendations where they sign to, then disagree with two of the recommendations.
Which is?
One recommendation that NACRA for generate the electoral register. They signed to it. And in that meeting, Balogu stood open If they hear me, like a comment on her. Open in the meeting and say the APC not agree with that particular provision. I even got up and said, hey, una we go sign and you una today back the council and not agree. This is to tell you that even the two parties will go sign. Who knows then sign under duress? Who knows?
How they
so it is not
how they put the under duress honorable.
Well,
these are negotiations
that's
will
it.
go on for months.
That's it. So
then deliberate, then look at the words, then cross all the T's, dot all the I's before it come out to the public.
So Khadija, I want to say today not to SLPP one great get away get reservation over now the tripartite recommendation. The APC raised up two things where they say get reservation over. So the two parties to the agreement get reservation
but they
over.
Come out it and say,
then come out because
put in a press release.
Look here, the APC no hide them. This was a public forum where all the political parties in this country been there in a meeting. That not the forum where Balogo grab openly and say they object to the provision.
That not justify the question where they ask about this on your own position where on a just don't pull.
We also need to understand, say, opposition that will get reservation over the issue of constituting an oversight committee for can oversight an independent electoral body. Just like no, who not get fear will say it is not in conformity with laws. Because 3211 say, in the dispensation of its responsibility, the National Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone shall not be subject to the authority, directive, or control of anybody or institution in this country. Parliament is an institution. If you make Parliament a supervisor over the Electoral Commission, you know what you don't do? You don't now kill 3211. Do we want to live in a state where our constitution, which is the grand norm, which is the biggest law of this country, is compromised just because of political or agreement suitability? No.
This committee, now for just look at the
not to just Khadija, you know the standing orders of Sierra Leone, you know the powers of standing committees of parliament. No, not trivialize this thing. This is Sierra Leone, you know it. You know it make Khadi talk so. Now, because you, Khadija, you are an expert in parliamentary affairs. Because for years you have reported on parliament. And for years, we don't provide trainings. You know it. You know when I say a standing committee in parliament, you know the powers where you get. Or do you want to make this a standing committee that you tell us saying, okay, all them powers there?
What's wrong if a committee there for watch the preparedness of ECSL?
No, there should be.
But not for interfere with the independence.
No, man, forget about interference. Now, because you get the tendency for even give directive as a committee, every standing committee in our parliament get the right for investigate, summon, call for papers, that is evidence, documentary evidence, give directive, send to prison. Do you want the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone to be subject to such, ridicule? You don't want. You don't want the judiciary, you don't want the Chief Justice for going to answer to a committee in Parliament. You don't want Ben Kaifala for going to answer to a committee in Parliament. You don't want the Auditor General for the answer to a committee in Parliament. Because their work there is so, unique. Their work there, and upon them, this country hinge. So in as much as you don't want the Chief Justice, you don't want the Chief Justice in Parliament for appear before a committee.
Honorable Parag,
it can never happen.
The moral guarantor then just left here about a day ago. They don't take their time. They don't meet with all stakeholders. They don't discuss the issues where APC raise, we make them boycotts. And immediately after that, APC pull a press release. I sure say you see that press release. APC say, then they give this the last and final try. And then get timeline for December 31st for do some of the things that were inside the 8 points and restructuring ECSL. Now, one of the priority areas. Now, UNA as the ruling party, don't begin object to some of the things.
No object.
Not to get the confusion they begin.
No object. Look here, it's very simple. We'll get reservation over a particular provision.
And as some of the things
and this reservation,
they put forward,
look here, this is simple. We want party una free Monday. Waiting all right to the talk and saying all right. You can feel good about her, you not go feel good about her. The thing we're not right now that ECSL, as the judiciary, as ACC, as audit service Sierra Leone, the independence cannot be compromised. You not go put her under any institution.
That particular
so this is something you need to understand.
Their independence not going to be compromised. The public go on for understand why on the field say the independence go be compromised. Let's just read as a day inside the agreements where they just signed to this past week. Like how they were beliefs now from day on a bring come on a own reservation. Waiting then say is the government to engage the leadership of parliament to urgently constitute the parliamentary standing committee on electoral matters in spirit of the agreement of national unity. Specifically recommendation 20 of the tripartite report to review the electoral cycle, inquire into electoral preparedness and guide legislative reforms towards 2028 elections. The parliamentary leadership to ensure the development of terms of reference for standing committee, but within the context of section 3211 of the constitution. That is what they said. So why when they feel say then they go affect the independence of the ECSL? Simple. But then clearly state and they say it go for happen in the context of the constitution, the section where una self quote.
So if you tell me say within the context of 3211, automatically you not get right for even from a standing committee. Because 3211 say the ECSL not go be subject to any authority.
But they are not saying for it to be subject.
No, wait for me. Mabel, this is simple. Okay? It not mean say because moral guarantors and can they right?
Not to the right. So this now waiting the both parties.
That's what I'm saying. When they come,
not to the moral guarantor the right.
Wait for me.
Now the government and the opposition go greasing at this they want do.
Look here. I don't tell you say anything they do now this country for be guided by law.
But they self-advise.
You don't understand?
Now the same thing they put now.
That's it. So 3211 say
11, they make mention of them and the advice say the constitution for be protected.
So why would I want 3211 don't say the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone not subject to the direction or control of anybody when they do their work? Wait for me. Mabel, look here. I want you to take the stand in order. Take the constitution. Read the roles and responsibilities of a standing committee of parliament. The way you don't need to agree with me. Say then form a committee of parliament. Automatically ECSL not subject to the control and directive.
The government miss that particular agreement the way they go sign.
Go ask them now then sign.
No, but
no, we SLPP say
they miss them.
We SLPP say 3211 for be protected.
But you are aware say on a deputy leader, on a the vice president, the AG, when a member of una party, na been part and parcel of drafting this communique. Then look at them, I sure say then go don't define each and every word before they send them back to the moral guarantor them for read them and then sign them.
SLPP in position say section 3211 for be protected.
Where the moral
and because while be protected, it is our considered opinion as a political party that any attempt for set any institution where they can oversight the Electoral Commission, it they become inconsistent with 3211. Because anybody where you say independent, but Khadija, I used to go say Sierra Leone independent, but Britain for form a committee where for they look into how Sierra Leone they doing work. Is that independence? Let's be real. Sometimes things what they do for political convenience, not legally expedient. So let us understand that. Legally as a party, we say 3211 should be protected and we stand by that.
Now the APC don't say at the last and final try this, then they give for implement some of them things here with the inside the agreement for national unity and that of the tripartite recommendations. Una already get a reservation. And I sure say
then I get 2 reservations.
And I sure say Una get una MP in a parliament, una get for speak to and give them directive as to how them for go about this. Waiting the people for expect from una all to both APC and SLPP, because una they in all of this, but now one person go say no and agree and agree, and everything just seem for the one place.
You know, waiting the people for expect from SLPP. APC una ask them, so tell them go tell una waiting the people for expect from them. But we waiting people for expect from we now that we are a responsible party, and every agreement where we the part of, we're not inconsistent with any provision of the constitution, will be fully executed, and we will give full cooperation to whoever they move the processes they are forward. However, any agreement as per the agreement of national unity, when preamble make and clear, say every execution of the 8-point agreement here for the in line with the constitution of Sierra Leone. So for we, anyone when not in line with the constitution of Sierra Leone as a party will get reservation honor. So that is our candid position, and the people of Sierra Leone know say without law they're not going to live. This is not an anarchy. This is a democracy, and the rule of law is supreme. No man, not for compromise. What the law say, and we stick by that strictly.
Is the SLPP willing and ready for let the government and the opposition move forward from where they are?
We are always ready. If we not be ready, we'll not even learn to support. We have supported every process leading to today. The only thing like what we say, for example, president by him authority appoint Edmond Alpha as chief electoral commissioner and chairman. APC say no, we no say do in law. We supported that. As we sit here, we get the agreement of national unity. They get 8 points. I want report to the nations out of them 8. We APC will not agree. Say 5 we don't implement 100%. The balance 3 in an ongoing process, and we all satisfy how the 3 they go. For the tripartite recommendations, there is a secretariat, there is a coordinating team, and they are moving it strongly. And most of the provisions then they implementable. Others where we get reservation over and APC get reservation. We all go to engage once in a while for see how clear their reservations. And by the way, this we position is a reservation. Who knows until one find the APC go able to convince we say down a reservation on a drop and let we move this way. Who knows then self APC go able to convince we about then your reservation where I don't tell you clearly the one we talk say the agreement say now NACRA for generate the list of electorates and pass over to ECSL. All of these things are reservations. We get reservation and get reservation. So let's keep going. At a point in time, I know say we must meet at a point, but this is a reservation, and we as a political party, 3211 should be kept.
On this,
and it is sacred.
On a reservation, like how the agreements they say for engage with the leadership na parliament. The Sierra Leone People's Party members of parliament, waiting on they expect from them regarding setting up this committee. Because no sooner they don't sign, it don't come into existence. They might be even then on a stage for thinking of meeting and agreeing how to set the committee up. Waiting on a party they expect from on MPs them regarding this.
Every SLPP MP is an SLPP man. The party don't pull position. Therefore, they are expected to stick by the provision.
Have you engaged them on this?
But if we don't engage, you'll not go pull position. We are a party with a consult far and wide. We've consulted and we've all agreed. Naimeko don't pull this position. And it's a position of the party, and each and every person we say belong to the SLPP for stick by this position.
Honorable, you say ECSL not for be subjected to any committee. The independence will be protected according to the constitution. But they can go parliament, they can go defend and budget them. And if you talk about protecting their independence, setting up an oversight committee where for look after the activities, how that go compromise the independence. ECSL, think say, as things are now, not for be exempted from any oversight?
Karija, not only SL angry, they go defending budget na parliament. The judiciary, they go defending budget na parliament. ACC, they go defending budget na parliament. Audit service, Sierra Leone, they go defending budget na parliament. But that not subject them to any committee we get for can provide oversight responsibility over them. Why you not so concerned about constituting a committee for the oversee the judiciary? Why are you so concerned about constituting a committee for the look into ACSL?
Because from waiting transpire from 2023 elections, now all of these issues come up.
The way APC they pass say they not trust the judiciary. Why you not been go to parliament for tell them say they constitute a committee?
Because then the international moral guarantor they not come inside.
So even when they come, one position of APC now that they not trust the judiciary. Why didn't they put it in the agreement? Say they for go form a committee for oversee the judiciary. Then see on allow left there. ECSL is an independent institution. It's a creature of the constitution. And our constitution is supreme and sacred. And our constitution does say every other law in this country is law, as far as inconsistent with the constitution. Why do we want to make this an inconsistent provision of the constitution? The world agreeable. You know how we do it?
But you don't feel
that's
so
a suicide
the
mission.
cats before the horse.
Not
because
only cats.
even this agreement where I just read them, like how they go sign to them, they self indicate say, then for do in accordance with that section 3211 of the constitution.
That's why you shouldn't do it in
not
fact.
just go wait and see waiting they come out from parliament, where then go sit down, meet and agree how they want to form the committee. Una know especially the terms of reference them where the agreement say them for draw and no waiting obedient terms of reference before now they come out.
Okay, so me not a parliamentary expert. Let me tell you something. We'll get standing committees, which are most times sessional. Then we get other committees. They not say let them form ad hoc committee, they say let them form standing committee. And any standing committee you form na parliament is guided by the constitution as well as the standing orders. And the standing orders clearly prescribe the roles, responsibilities, and authority of standing committees in parliament. And every standing committee get them power by virtue of the constitution and the standing orders. Okay? So if you not form standing committee for oversee the judiciary, which is independent, sacred, if you not form one for oversee the ACC, if you not form one for oversee audit service, you can form it for oversee ECSL, which is as independent as the judiciary. In fact, we should be more independent than the judiciary. Why do you want to form a committee for oversee ECSL and you don't want to form a committee to oversee the judiciary?
On the fear say this committee look at the work where the ECSL they doing for the people of Sierra Leone. On go lost the 2028 elections.
I don't tell you say any committee then form a parliament now we the dominator. So why
what's your fear here?
No, so it's not to fear. You not be say because me no say I get for benefit, so I for go against law. That is selfishness. SLPP is not a selfish party. If why would they become selfish, you say una former. When they former the 16 members, you know how many would they get? Would they almost get about 10? Now only 6 APC they get. Anything they bring to the table, all those in favor say aye, 10 they vote, then case closed. So nothing so let me tell you, in effect, that committee is redundant from the start. Because you form yourself SLPP na boku inside. If SLPP boku they say the way for take decision na parliament na through vote. And if you go through vote, SLPP will always carry the day. But because we're not selfish, because we not say wrong, that make us say the not for former in the first place. Because 3211, for goodness sake, una na journalist there. In fact, una na the greatest influencers of this state. Una let the people understand that 3211 creates the independence of ECSL. And therefore, no authority, not for CAM, where they give the instructions or directive. If that happens, we are killing our democracy. In fact, let me tell you, the problem we will fight now for solve will be more compounded than to solve. I still remember in Parliament, this was around 2016, where the issue of boundary delineation came up. Okay? Parliament summoned the ECSL. Me not be one person will be object to that. However, when Parliament summoned ECSL, because them pressure the Chief Electoral Commission, I come to Parliament. And they ask certain questions where he say, no, I'm not subject to anybody. I'm subject to the laws of this state. And therefore, I dey go as the law says. Parliament be one arm twister, still member that day. And they call the person name. The one arm twister for do a certain thing where otherwise he not go do. Now I say, remember 3211, I'm an independent institution state. So nobody no go come twist me. We don't want war in this country. We don't want war between ECSL and Parliament. Because now not from that committee just now, then APC begin grumble say SLPP don't begin am twist. ECSL.
But
because now we get for inside anyway.
The committee don't get the powers for direct ECSL. The only thing where the committee go do and for call them for explain waiting and they do in terms of preparedness.
Stop this talk. Parliament assistants get right for ask the ECSL waiting and they do rather than forming a committee. So you don't need for form a committee for ask ECSL waiting and they do.
Honorable, now you
Parliament by the constitution,
now
yes.
you they advise the SLPP on some of them constitutional issues there in a parliament because you're a lawyer, then you don't serve as an administrator in a parliament. You're an expert who can understand in orders of parliament.
Why if you say I made the advice the party?
Because I know you.
No, well, you see
I know the work you do. I know your background. I just don't tell you about your legal background and your administrative background when it comes to parliament.
No, Khadija, my role don't change. The paranoid means I've been not doing this. Right now, wait for me. The party gets legal advisors. Now the responsibility for advise the party on any way get for do it legality.
But you get
the party
legal background as well.
Not only responsibility. Inside the party in constitution, the Secretary General not they advise the party on legal matters. We get the legal team when are irresponsible. Secondly, the issue of where you say you sabi me. That paranoid means I've been not doing this. I'm Secretary General of the SLPP. And my role as Secretary General and for head the secretariat and work under the directive of the chairman and the leader for run the day-to-day administration of the party. That is what I'm doing. And that I focus on. You know, this is always the problem. And they tell you one day we'll sit down some side. Somebody, even they tell me, say, they arrest the APC Secretary General. They say, I'm a masterminder. And they ask the people, you really serious about this? They say, Paran Sabi you. So why should people think that whatever thing will happen when a hardline business is Paran? It's not true. SLPP is a serious and mature political party. We get level-headed people where they provide pieces of advice and where they give you direction as to how to move. And in this, I tell you back, we now understand this, Khadija and Mabel. The SLPP in position is clear. 3211 of the Constitution is a sacred provision. It makes the ECSL an independent and non-controllable institution. Any attempt to form any committee for oversee ECSL is bastardizing 3211. And we as a political party not go sit down and watch that they happen.
But the SLPP also take into consideration, say, this particular clause one of the challenge. So now one of the agreements where the government and the opposition don't agree, say, let we move forward. This stalemate in governance done too much. Let's move forward. And now one of the solutions and then the way them feel say go able make them move forward. Now that make up they ask you say if we not believe on a representation as a government, now that particular meeting also then go greasing at this they want for do.
Okay, so maybe this is also simple. Then a government not sign to that. Not so we now position this. Government can take a position and not can take her. We're not the first government. This is a political party and we get right for bring out positions.
No, power.
We are leading the governance. Not only the 100%. I don't give you a clear dichotomy of how government they run. Now 3 arms of government will get. I don't tell you say even a parliament at 60% will get it. APC get 40%. So even legislative administration of state is shared almost equally
so
between the
governments do not believe say they represent on our well.
Not to that.
Then there is a problem because they don't go sign.
No, I don't say that.
Who say? But now they put big question mark and waiting. On a young government don't go sign to.
You see, this is not the problem. The problem at this state now the issue of let's say sycophancy. You know what I mean? Say because SLPP-led government don't go sign an agreement, SLPP party automatically for agree with her. You know what I mean? So it means say as a party you get your own position. As government and get your own position. By the way, sometimes you don't even know who can they provide underground pressure group on government. You might not understand it. This is a government APC agreement. The SLPP as a political party has reservation. So government, you know, we say for like government
you
begin engage like how they
you
engage
believe say the
APC.
SLPP-led government they protect the country and constitution. Do you
Very
believe
much.
that? So why you the question the decision?
No, I'm not questioning decision.
You're questioning
No,
their
wait for
decision
me.
because they have agreed to this.
Not to their own decision, a joint decision,
Yes,
agreement.
and they're there. No one forced them to sign to that.
Okay, maybe I'll ask you a question. You know what to make any agreement where government and anybody sign at this country for go through parliament? Now because we trust say there are certain provisions we need for scrutinize. Or else no provision not before they inside the constitution. Section 40, subsection 8, not before they in that constitution. But you know what to make it? Now because any two-way government and anybody sign at this country, the people of this country for scrutinizer. And parliament representing the people of this country now in responsibility for scrutinize and ratify any agreement signed between government and any person. So that is why nobody is questioning government in authority or government in potency. However, anything signed between government and any other person for come through parliament for that parliament scrutinize. So as a political party who feel say 3211 of this constitution for be held secret. Nobody not for touch her.
As it is now, Una wants the APC back in parliament. And Honorable Abdulkabu was here, sit down at that same side where you sit down. They don't end the boycotts, but then going back na parliament depend on this committee, because now after setting up this committee, the agreement here all for going to parliament for table. Now una get a reservation on this committee, and una according to you, una for protect the independence of ECSL. And if no clear way no day for set up this committee, the APC not going to parliament.
Not to me elect members of the APC. I mean, I SLPP member then they have been voted.
But now this lead to them boycott.
Hey, wait, I come. Okay. APC, not to maybe elect them for go parliament. Then get the people who elect them for go parliament. So those are the people who they really they go talk for in a parliament. So me if APC not go say people then they talk for me in a parliament. I haven't said this. Maybe you don't know how APC go parliament today. And the reason why APC for go to parliament because me, you know, are different from many people. APC in day one at parliament, they make parliament run the way for run. And APC is a potent political institution. I don't do a parliament as MP as well as clerk of parliament. And I don't see what APC can do. There are certain things if APC know they go pass. And if it pass, it will jeopardize the interest of this nation. So me they encourage APC for go back to parliament. When they go back to parliament, let them remember, say if they have set committee, SLPP party in position at that, we will not agree with that committee. It not mean say them for go strictly by what you say. But the country for no say we will not agree with that committee as a party.
Then boycott being justifiable in the first place?
Now they ask now they boycott.
From an SLPP perspective.
Now they boycott. Khadija asked them. Me know SLPP will be in parliament with the boycott session, but not boycott parliament. Because there are other issues where not related to the reason why we boycott that session.
Because just want to remind you, say you not be one of the leader that we force the commander.
Yes, because that particular session I not agree with the team. And I be no say we not be only 42. Then I be almost 79. So if we been vote, then they be 3. And we can blow all the grammar. We been get there, they talk say half around, I blow the grammar no more. On a dollar can vote. So no say if we vote, then go win. So that particular team will not want to be part of her. So they come out. But the other day, they see back who can active, who they take part. That's what they do parliament. Nothing not wrong for boycott session. So that make me know they against APC then boycott, but they against the continuous boycott of parliament. In order in the themselves say their interest. Because this country, once they get the quorum of parliament and they pass anything. If they pass and you can't meet, they don't pass something. Brother, they left by you.
So
So
talk about the proportional representation again, and this is one of the things the way APC no agree with.
now APC they rule the country. Look at it, you are not APC they rule this country. There is a government running this country.
But now all go for going to the elections.
APC their responsibility now for provide critical opposition to government, as then they do right now. Not to them for one first past the post. Then only for oppose proportional
But
representation.
CSOs they don't go around. They
Which
don't ask
CSOs
the
there?
people.
They
Don't ask
don't go
the
around.
people.
Which
them
CSO?
whose systems
Call
of
them or call the
election
CSOs.
new. When a coalition of CSOs,
Anyway.
according to the data, the citizen they want to first pass the post than the PR system.
Anyway.
And
new way they go that television for go declare election results where they not get the mandate.
Na projection then.
No, not a projection. You don't do that. If now any other state new will be culpable, they go carry in court. Because the constitution of one great institution of state, they give responsibility for announced result. So you can't go and determine, say this result, they go into second rounds. Where the one way for talk, say it don't go second rounds, not determine it. So for me, new a collection of civil society organizations. I don't they way up to 49 of those organizations don't write. Say they've never been consulted on anything. So why me for can't trust you? Why me for can't trust you? Like say when they talk no more now the gospel truth.
So why the SLPP so believe in the PR system of election? Because even the VP who now na deputy leader na state house where if they update his excellency on the negotiations we don't get so far with the APC, it gives data where I don't know the source of in data. Wherefore I say the people that want the PR system.
But that VP na electoral expert. Not only in Africa, Europe, and many other places. So anything tell you now with authority. So not even doubt the data. If you not get any talk, I know that man. And I know, say, that one of the most trusted Sierra Leoneans where they work at the UN. That is why them in the take up for go provide expert advice to critical election situations. Okay? So that data we give you, that very potent data. And as journalists, we not just check on our source. So for we are SLPP, we trust in the proportional representation system because we mantra say one country, one people. That is the system we go unify this country. That is the system we go make me and you not fight again by election. That is the system we go make we keep money for run other aspects of state. And that is the system we go make parties we otherwise not for go parliament go able get representation in parliament, and each and every shade of opinion in this country will be represented in parliament. So we want it, and that is what we are going by.
So for Leona reservation to rest, what happens in a case where Parliament agreed and set up this committee and then set up the in terms of reference and then begin work? What happens?
Okay, so we'll still oppose that committee because for us, we'll not say let Parliament take what you will say. But that is our position as a party. Till then, we still hold this position very strong. And we the urge Parliament, as a political party, we talk to Parliament today. Parliament, now they make law. This constitution where they rule with today, now we make them. And when I make the constitution, when I've been put inside section 171, subsection 15 say, the constitution are the supreme law of the state. All other laws will be law as far as they're not inconsistent with any provision of the constitution. So in una action, una note that section 3211 will be bastardized, will be violated if una form any standing committee for oversee the ECSL in operations, because ECSL is an independent creature of the constitution. It gets in your impartial way of doing things and not subject to the control or directive of anybody or any institution. And Parliament is an institution. If we institute or establish a committee, the tendency for now begin probe, take actions, give orders, give directive a day. And once una do that one day, una don't compromise 3211. So as Secretary General of the SLPP position is no committee in parliament should be constituted because it is a direct breach of 3211. So like the speaker and all members of parliament hear this and make them understand saying that then they make law. If they make that law, then for protect what they put inside the law.
All right, Honorable, we'll take few messages will come for you, so you go respond before we wrap up. The first one I take now from Lahai Mara on Facebook. They say Honorable Paran is not telling the truth. Both the ACC and ECSL do appear before parliamentary committees. As a former member of the PAC, I participated in hearings involving both institutions. I have also chaired a sub-appropriation committee before which the ACC appeared to defend its allocated budget and expenditures. Parliament is supreme and has the authority to establish committees at any time it deems necessary to investigate the activities of any institution, including the ACC and ECSL.
All right, from the YouTube channel, the very first message we're going to look at, Sheko Mansare say that is why they asked the biggest institution in the country, Parliament, to form a committee to do oversight on ECSL, just to ensure everyone is satisfied before elections. Why is Paran too bitter?
Yasin Ba say, think of oversight like a referee, not a coach. A referee watches, enforces rules and flags fouls, but doesn't call the play or run the drills. Similarly, oversight means monitoring and reviewing, not controlling or directing day-to-day actions. It's a high-level look over, not a hands-on takeover. So no oversight implies the observation and accountability, not command and control. Therefore, in my opinion, Section 3211 will not be affected by the recommendations from the moral guarantors.
This one say the moral guarantors asked the parliament to form the committee and do the oversights so both sides will be satisfied before the elections. The ECSL institution is working for the people of the country and not a party.
Aruna Davies on Facebook, they say, Khadija and Mabel, please ask Mr. Parantawali as a lawyer if he can draft an agreement that is against the laws of Sierra Leone.
This other one say, Mabel and Khadija, please ask Paran and tell him to let the process go through, even if SLPP MPs are going to dominate the committee and the opposition MP is going to head the committee.
Lahai Mara again, they say, for the judiciary, we have the legislative committee that investigates their activities. Paran is too quick to forget the powers of parliament. Parliament has power to even constitute a committee to investigate the conduct of the president, if so desire.
Peter Bai Bangura say, Paran not to so the recommendations say. It states clearly that na equal members of the APC and the SLPP go lead the committee.
This one, they say, why make believe VP use in electoral experts for agree to the formation of the committee?
This one say, please tell Paran if there is going to be a situation where the parliament needs to form a committee in parliament to oversight the judiciary, it can happen for transparency.
Mohamed Kouma on Facebook says Section 3211 of the 1991 Constitution constitutionally entrenches the institutional independence of the ECSL, meaning that in its electoral functions, it must operate free from political, executive, legislative, or external interference, thereby safeguarding electoral integrity and public confidence.
A committee formed in Parliament to oversight the ECSL and institutions does not take away its independence. Just to know what's going on inside the ECSL by both sides.
Modi, they say, that's a very solid point Paran just made with regards to parliamentary numbers. Any committee formed in Parliament at this moment, the SLPP will definitely have the majority. So automatically, the decision will favor them.
Alpha Temubundu say, please ask the Honorable who approved the leader of the ECSL. It's Parliament. So Parliament has the right to summon any institution and ask him again.
All right. So many messages, but slow it up here now.
Yeah.
So Honorable will respond.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, sometimes when people talk, people for listen carefully. So you go understand the context from which then they come up from. Now I go to Honorable Aymara. I don't know if not the Honorable Aymara or any other Aymara. If not the Honorable Aymara, you know very well, say, oh, the Parliament, Ulan Parliament, the in and the out. And you know very well, say, Parliament get authority for someone, any institution for can answer to specific queries. But you self know, say, any institution is independent, no standing committee not going to be constituted for overseer. Issue of the legislative committee, where you allege say they oversee the judiciary. I'm still member say throughout my days in Parliament, I'm a member of the legislative committee. And I remember say one day we'll go to the Chief Justice. If you see we, oh glad you will say we can ask certain questions. And the Chief Justice then tell we clearly, say this is an independent institution and Parliament not go ask questions and they not go respond to those questions. And one time, I remember saying I may move the motion. So for summon the Chief Justice for appear before Parliament. The APC resisted that. Rather, they sent the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Frank Kagbo, where I talk, we don't talk, now I go 98.1. That's when I said 98.1. Now I go, myself, I blast the sober. After that blast, now in there send me committee on privileges. They say me don't contempt Parliament. That is to tell you, during the APC term, when they lead Parliament, they know say the judiciary been very independent. So when we move, say, now move no more move. So for someone, the Chief Justice, they not agree. And they never allow them for come. And we are forced, then rather bring the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. And when I don't agree with that, I go over radio, then can we go disciplinary committee? So with that alone, that's an action for sure. You say Parliament not go oversight the judiciary. That not means the way you appear for can't defend your budget. Budget process, now law process, now legal, now for make law. Then call on the appropriation bill. So if they make law, the appropriation bill, you can call anybody for can answer to questions on in budget. Then in a general parliamentary authority. I also want like people that know say Parliament as an institution get right for call people and ask them questions. So no need for form a committee. Parliament already get that power. Why you want form specific committee? If you know say you want to talk to ECSL, you already get power as Parliament for calling. Me, if I've been there outside in the draft data for tell moral guarantors and anybody where they say no, we can't form any special committee. Parliament already has the power. So long don't make the power over. You know, like we say super flush. We don't need for make the power super flush. Somebody they talk say oversight no means say you the probe. What is oversight? You know the definition. Check the standing orders or check all parliamentary manuals the world over. When they say oversight, and they strong. Yeah, Parliament by the Constitution. If you sit on a committee inquire into any matter that is of public interest. And it can provide recommendations, it can issue orders, it can issue instructions, they can follow up on their orders for make it happen. So my brother, you will say this, I beg, don't form any committee for oversee the ECSL. That problem will be fetch right now for solve. We will compound them more. Some other person they ask me if me go make agreement with the against law. Me not go ever make agreement with the against law. Because in this country we get the cadre of laws. We get the Constitution, which is the highest. We get Act of Parliament. We get other, common laws. We get customary laws. We get agreements, treaties, and conventions. These are all the cadres. So anyone where they below in company, you not go make them for make it inconsistent with the upper one. So me, if I've been there, the tripartite, but put in the way, probably I've been for advice on and say no. Like this not happen because they're against law. Like this happen because me I don't feel safe for political convenience or for violate laws. I not agree and I not agree nobody. I not agree today. I not agree tomorrow. For political convenience, me violate law. I'll tell you one simple example. Yes, that happened. What of the thing they will put inside, they go against laws. But we still want politically, like they happen, but legally, then they jeopardize the laws of this country. Don't care when we signed Lomé Peace Accord in 1999. You know what happened? They say moral guarantors here, them in Lomé in July 1999. Well, don't sign, done, you know what they do? Then they say, they sign. Then the moral guarantors, they say, we will sign with reservation. You know what they make them say so? When I read the Lomé Peace Accord, they say they sign with reservation because of 3 principal reasons. Number 1, they say RUF don't violate chapter 3 of the Constitution. And therefore, for give the RUF a blanket amnesty, it's a direct breach of chapter 3 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. So we, as international community, cannot sign a law with a breach on our Constitution. So they didn't sign as parties. What they did, they signed as moral guarantors with reservation.
But in this case,
So guess what happened? After they don't sign that, now then self-urge, say when I carry this now in a parliament. Now in a parliament go ratify them. So as President Tijan Kabakam, now in they formulate what they call the Lomé Peace Accord Ratification Act of 1999 and then carry on a
you
parliament.
feel say a whole
When they don't pass up, now that time the Lomé Peace Accord become binding. But an agreement in itself, ordinarily, without parliamentary ratification, my sister, let anybody quote me anywhere. In not get force of law.
you feel say a
Quote me
whole
anywhere.
You still
A
believe
whole-
still a gentleman's agreement?
But they tell you, say, any agreement in this country, will not go to parliament for ratification, does not have the force of law. Nobody not go enforce her.
but honorable,
Empty agreement between me and you.
this clause one I get on a reservation on so. A whole chief legal advisor, you feel say go left sidom, government go agree for something we go against the constitution.
When I ask government and go answer, me I know say SLPP who say 3211 should be protected, and that is our position.
All right. We look forward to waiting go happen next, because as it is now, the moral guarantor don't do the work. On a party, the SLPP don't sign, the APC don't sign. Now for implement no more now.
Not all party SLPP sign, SLPP led government I sign.
On a government official then sign.
Them member, them party member they.
No, the SLPP led government.
When now on a party member they.
Where APC self all the part of her. So not to SLPP. If the SLPP be signed, you know what it be for happen? Either the president be for sign and write the leader SLPP. Or he tell the vice president say sign
When
on
on a
the behalf.
product and sign.
No, SLPP led government. Now it's signed
When on a
agreement.
product thing.
Look here, watch the agreement. So you see there's an agreement between SLPP and APC.
Now
There's
government.
an agreement between government of Sierra Leone and APC. When our all man get her, not all we get her. We will only boku inside it. So that is the situation. And quote me anywhere, any agreement signed between government and anybody in this country for be ratified by parliament. If it is not ratified, it does not have the force of law. Lomé Peace Accord was ratified. Special Court Agreement was ratified. Even when we went to Buntumani after elections, when they go do that agreement for national unity, now Buntumani, we bring the Peace Commission today. It was ratified by Parliament.
But this have the Congo Parliament.
They were care, no, they care. When Parliament ratified, they will now say not to gentleman's agreement. But quote me anywhere. It's as simple as that. Go to Parliament. Now they keep to the laws. The law section 40 subsection 8 say any agreement signed between government of Sierra Leone and anybody for be ratified by Parliament before you get force of law. This has not been ratified. This talk but then yourself. Let the care force the Parliament. When they ratify, I will come here and say, wow, let me now talk on the agreement of national unity and the tripartite recommendation as agreements will get force of law in Sierra Leone.
Parliament, eh? You miss being a parliament the moment here.
Wallahi. You know, by now, it could have been so interesting. No, me if I be in parliament, don't tell them for don't carry agreement, I go parliament. Don't tell if I be in parliament. Then they care. Because this now simple motion arise on say one agreement in this country and recommendations there. They not still carry it and they don't implement there. There will someone the one they implement law where parliament not pass. Therefore, don't care like law don't pass this or don't forget about that. But I talk all man they quote me they say missing a gentleman's agreement. Even lawyers they can and they sit down and they talk say hey this for go this way. But you're not a lawyer, you know the country laws, the constitution say clearly any agreement, distinguish them. It's any agreement that you can, you know very well, go parliament it, get the force of law. They show for implementer by force.
This is another legal.
When I can go parliament, tell them go ratify. When parliament ratify, like I'll get the Lomi Peace Accord Ratification Act. Now we'll get the Special Court Ratification Act. Like I'll get the Special Court Residual Court Ratification Act. Like I'll get the Agreement for National Unity Ratification Act. Come to parliament, let them ratify it. Simple. In our heart.
All right, Honorable.
Honorable Paran, thank you for Kana state the position of the SLPP. And we look forward to more things unfolding, especially to the additional 8 bullet points with an extract from the tripartite recommendation and that of the Agreement for National Unity. Now, don't listen to the position of the SLPP. Then get reservation, especially to the committee where they suppose for set up na parliament for oversee the activities for ensure say ECSL prepare for conduct free, fair and credible elections 2028. As always, my pleasure for getting you. So now they end this edition of the Breakfast Show. Many thanks to the entire production team, Musa Saukoma and Michael Ayino Conte. We support the production team with technical support. Mina Khadija Bangura, say have a good day.
All right, well, till we meet again at the other side, maybe Kabada say get a good day and goodbye.
Building tomorrow today with Rightmove. Looking for quality, reliability, and innovation in your next big build? Choose Rightmove Engineering and Construction, Sierra Leone's trusted name in transforming ideas into enduring structures. We don't just build projects, we craft landmarks that stand the test of time. From state-of-the-art offices and modern homes to fuel stations, water systems, and infrastructure, our team delivers precision, passion, and perfection. At Rightmove, we are not following industry standards, we are setting them. Through cutting-edge technology, uncompromising safety, and sustainable solutions, we are building a brighter, stronger, and safer Sierra Leone. Visit us at 54 Campbell Street, Freetown, or call 078399475 or 077504338. Rightmove Engineering and Construction. Building quality, building trust, building the future.
It's Labor Day. After all the grind, stress, and queries at the office, it's time to ease your brain, laugh out loud, and feel like the CEO. Live with Kingdom Hustle will make sense on Labor Day, Friday, May 1st, 2026. Venue, prestigious Into Money Hotel, 7 p.m. Ticket prices, 500 millions. Answer, 1,000 millions. I mean, table for 4, 10,000 millions. A deal, table for 8, 20,000 millions. You don't buy yourself plenty. Now come and laugh. No excuse. Media partner, Liberty Online TV, and cooked by Eminence Africa.
I say, it don't make sense. I don't make sense.
Wise men rank with UBA.
Wise women too with UBA.
School pupils in Sierra Leone, do you have a creative writing skills? Would you love to win a brand new laptop and a scholarship grant worth up to 50,000 new leones? Then this is your moment. The UBA Foundation, with support from UBA Sierra Leone in collaboration with the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education, is proudly launching the 5th edition of the 2025-2026 UBA National Essay Competition, as the UBA Sierra Leone has teamed up with the Institute for Legal Research and Advocacy for Justice, ILRAJ, to make it bigger and better. Are you a senior secondary school pupil anywhere in Sierra Leone? Then get ready to showcase your ideas. Write a handwritten essay of not more than 500 words on the topic gender-based violence in schools, causes, consequences, and solutions. And yes, the rewards are exciting. First prize, a brand new laptop plus a 50,000 new leones scholarship grant. Second prize, 30,000 new leones. And third prize, 20,000 new leones. Remember, your essay must be handwritten, not typed. Upon submission, please include your full name, passport photograph, your age, town and district, school name, and of course, the name and phone number of your parent, guardian, or teacher. Submit your essay at any UBA branch, MBSSE regional office nationwide, or the ILRAJ office, or send us a scanned copy to cfcsierra-leone@ubagroup.com. For more information, please call us on 078 200 200 or 099 22 11 22. Deadline for submission, April 30th, 2026. So, sharpen your pen, share your ideas, and be the voice for change. Visual impaired students are also encouraged to apply. The UBA Foundation National Essay Competition, unlocking young talent and shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Write it, submit it, win it.
You are watching Liberty Breakfast Show on Liberty Online TV.